Well, there is another map already. That's
What?
The game. Yeah.
I think cross-platform.
Oh, come on! You stole mine.
Really? What?
Oh, come on. We all were thinking
What
that.
made you think of that?
It's going to be overall beneficial and make the game even more popular if it's completely free and cross-platform, which it's already free. We're already halfway there. Now make it cross-platform.
Yep, exactly. That's
what Warzone's doing right now.
Hey everyone, before we get into this podcast, I want to let you guys know that we are now officially on Spotify. So if you want to go check us out on Spotify, there'll be a link down in the description below, and we're also working on getting on iTunes. So just be patient with us there as we continue to grow this podcast that you guys know and love. We'll continue to update you guys as more moves on. And without further ado, let's get right in the podcast.
Hey guys, Seth Lee here, back with another SquadCast podcast, episode number 13. As always, joined by the homies, iLoot Games, J Miles, and Quad MFT. So we got some pretty good stuff to talk about in this podcast. As you guys know, a pretty big game was just recently released, Call of Duty Warzone, and there's been a lot of talk I've been seeing on the timeline about how Warzone is affecting other BRs, mainly Apex and Fortnite. I see a little bit. I rarely ever see anything about Fortnite on the timeline, but we're going to be talking about that as well as some other stuff. But first I wanted to talk about, since this is coming out tomorrow, which is going to be the 20th, we get Kings Canyon for 3 days, which is kind of surprising.
Ooh.
They just announced this.
Let's
again.
go.
I'm hyped, always down for Kings Canyon, but it is a bit confusing that they're going to be giving us it again. They've done it so many times recently. I guess I can't really get mad at it though. So what do you guys think about us getting Kings Canyon from the 20th to the 23rd? So just 3 days.
Like you said, I mean, it's always fun to get Kings Canyon back again, but I think this is another topic that we didn't actually have written down, but we talked about before we started, and that's something that Luke brought up is, yeah, it's fun to have Kings Canyon back, but the problem is it's not just the fact that we want Kings Canyon. We want some more content. You know, we want a change, maybe a change to Kings Canyon, maybe a map change for Kings Canyon, maybe a new LTM that's just different, you know? Like, we're talking I don't see why, duos and solos was such a big hit, but yet they rarely ever bring them back into the table, into the mix. They just start bringing all these random things in that aren't really as exciting as other content, stuff like that. So I think they need to bring and focus more on some more content rather than just like bringing these random LTMs that are kind of weird and just odd to begin with. So, but it is nice to have Kings Canyon back.
Yeah, there's no hate on Kings Canyon. I love it. It's always fun to play. The thing is there. I get that Apex and Respawn are working really hard and they really care about the game, but we were talking about this before the podcast started. We want more content, exactly what Miles was saying. And when we get Kings Canyon, just randomly we see the Respawn or Apex post on Twitter saying that it's coming back. It's honestly, I like having it, but it's so easy for them to do that they just say, all right, we're bringing back Kings Canyon. Let's bring up the hype this week. We need more players online.
I know,
let's get Kings Canyon in, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I love Kings Canyon. But I want something more. Like I even said as a joke, let's get S&D in Apex, like search and destroy from Call of Duty. That's just a bullshit thing that I'm saying. I'm just saying random stuff, but it would still be fun to have just new content. I think that's what the Apex community is really looking for.
So do you think like them adding this back, do you think they were just doing it kind of randomly? Because I think when I see this, the only thing, the purpose, reason they could be giving us this is obviously because the rank split. I mean, we got Kings Canyon ranked from the 24th, starting a day after this tiny 3-day LTM of just normal Season 2 Kings Canyon ends. So, I mean, maybe they're just adding that back in just to get us prepared for ranked.
Maybe, but I don't think it's any secret that the Apex Legends player base kind of goes up when Kings Canyon's around. People are playing. I think there was more people playing the Deja Loot Kings Canyon mode than there was for a long time for the traditional just play Apex regular modes. So people just want to play Kings Canyon. People are just hyped about Kings Canyon. But like Caleb said, I think it's just too easy for Respawn to just not really give more content, but instead saying, hey guys, we're just gonna bring Kings Canyon back. The map that was out 2 seasons ago, we're just gonna throw it back in the mix so you guys can play it again, and then we're gonna take it out for a week, and hey guys, we're bringing Kings Canyon back. You can't just keep doing it over and over. You gotta do something different, change something up, make it a different mode, make it, give it a map change or something.
Well, I mean, they did do that with the Deja Loot.
But it was just a recycled LTM from World's Edge that they just brought over from the week 1. But
yeah, I feel you. I mean, the event, the whole system override event was kind of underwhelming for me. I would say a little bit. The LTM, I mean, it kind of just felt like normal pubs in general. But I don't know. Like overall, the guaranteed spawn rates, that was cool and all. But I think that kind of showed how people still really enjoy RNG. That was kind of the main thing I liked about that mode, was people would like always talk about how they don't like Apex or they don't like the RNG aspect, and then they play the Deja Loot, and then they just go back to pubs because it's
yeah, because they're not getting the RNG on their side because they don't know where all the spawns are for all the loot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but speaking of which, the event, they added the Evo shields in for the event, and they said they would listen to the feedback and they might keep it permanently. And as you guys probably know, they decided to add Evo shields into pubs and ranked. So what do you guys think about that, the decision to add it permanently?
I like it. Even just that, even something as small as adding a new type of shield like the Evo shields are. I like that Apex is releasing more content, even if it's something as small as that. What do you think about it, Sethley?
I honestly like it because I think personally, I think I said this in my video, the only reason or the only thing I think we'll ever get close to shields on kill is the Evo shield. I think that's the closest thing we'll ever get to like shields on kill, and I love that type of system in BRs because healings can be pretty annoying sometimes, and
it makes for more aggressive play.
Yeah, more aggressive play. I've always been an aggressive player, and also it's kind of more skill. So I like that about the Evo shield, but I personally, honestly, I use a gold armor over that anytime.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
they did lower the spawn rates for gold armor.
I think that with Evo shields, I think Evo shields are really, really good for RNG, like we talked before. But I think a lot of pro players had a really good idea, as saying like maybe you should try it out just like you did Evo shields. Maybe you should try and test out, people spawning with Evo shields, like everyone starting off with the Evo shield and just going like, being able to go up as it progresses. I really like how Warzone you start off with the pistol. Like I think it would be nice to start off with a P20 or something, just to and with that Evo shield, so that like whenever you get your first kill, before you get that R9, before you get whatever, say you just drop and you start shooting someone with a P20, you can already have Evo shield level 2 just by considering everyone spawns with an Evo shield. I think that would be a good idea rather than people picking up Evo shields. And it goes back to the same problem we talked about in the last podcast, when Loot was talking about I think Shroud's opinion on the Evo shields and stuff like that. Like they're good, but at the same time you're gonna have problems and unbalanced decisions with having Evo shields and regular body armor at the same time. So they're gonna have to figure out how to fix that. Either just take it all to an Evo shield game, or either give the Evo shield levels different abilities. Do you really
think it has to be an either or though? Because I think the way it is right now with the Evo shields, I don't really see how it affects too much of the game. Like it doesn't really affect it.
I don't think it's affecting the game as much as in like a big drastic change. But I think the state and the health of the game is just not as good as it could be if it was all Evo shields, if that makes sense. Like I feel like if it was all Evo shields, if we spawned with the Evo shields off the start, the game would be healthier than it is now. So you can't see that now because obviously we've never experienced that update before. But I do think it would put the game in a better state, because people wouldn't be so ticked off about RNG as much, just quite as much. Of course, people are still going to be ticked off about it at times. But I also think with the gold body armor, I think the red Evo shield needs to have some kind of perk rather than just a few extra health. Maybe like a half of the speed of the healing time of the gold body armor. It just needs something, because people are going to take that gold over the red 100% of the time if it's just them, or not 100% of the time, I'd say probably 80% of the time if they're a smart player. So it just, I don't know, I feel like they need to make some kind of balance there so that more people are either using it or just make people spawn with it or something. But Luke, you've been streaming a lot, you've been doing a lot of gameplay and stuff with on Twitch, so what is your opinion about the Evo shields?
I don't really care about them. I think that the fact that they start off at half of a white shield.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It makes them too much of a pain to pick up when you're in that early fighting.
That's what makes me drop them and not use them early.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't even play with them. I could see them if you're like really sniper based, it'd be big time benefit to have one. But besides that, I think it's just a waste of RNG. It's cool to be able to find a red one at the end of the game, but I would.
True.
I don't like how the Evo Shield is. I think it needs to be reworked, and I'm pretty sure I found code. I mean, we were actually talking about this. Probably you guys don't remember, but before the last podcast, I was like, I think I see something that's going to be something about Evo Shields being activated or something like that, and I didn't know what it was. Well, it was this. They're adding it to the normal mode, and it was already pre-decided. They said that they're waiting for feedback. There was no waiting for feedback. They already pre-decided that it was going to be.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I really think that they need to do something different. And it was like you guys were saying, I think the LTMs need to be something way different than the game. And with the Christmas LTM, the train, I love that because it was refreshing. It was quick. It was just something different. I think that's a lot of the reasons why people like Call of Duty is because it's quick. It's just dumb gameplay really fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, man. I hate the Evo Shield. I think it's dumb. I think it's a waste of time.
The LTMs should not be a spin on Battle Royale. It should be something completely different.
Something completely different.
It can be a spin. It can be, of course, it's going to be battle.
I'm saying,
but
I'm saying,
I
like,
get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, like right now, what we have is Battle Royale, but with this limitation, or it's Battle Royale, but you start with it. But like that's not what we want. We want like the train was not Battle Royale. It was just something crazy different. Like it was just a new, like something fun we had never seen before. And that was so refreshing. And I honestly played the train game mode so much because it was just like, I didn't feel like I was sweating or raging at the person landing on me and getting a gold armor R9 while I got a P20 white armor, you know, so it was just relaxing and I enjoyed the train event a lot more. So I think it would be cool to see more like non-traditional game LTMs for Apex Legends.
Yeah, I think Respawn shouldn't be like really concerned with upsetting like certain areas of fans of Apex, and just input an LTM that is brand new, that's fun. Like Lou was talking about Winter Express back in December. That was fun because we've never had anything like that before. So just implementing new LTMs, not just rerunning Kings Canyon over and over.
Exactly.
I think that's going to be really positive for Apex if they did do that, if they listen to that.
And I don't agree with the fact that Kings Canyon is like so good for the game. I don't. It will get just as boring. And you know, people don't remember season 1 and 2. The game was so new that we were all just cool with it. But if we're still playing Kings Canyon now, everyone will be like, a new fucking map already. This shit is old. It's just how it is. We need more content rather than just going back to an old map. That's if their whole focus is just bringing back an old fucking map, that's a waste. So we need to bring in new content, rework things, and improve the game.
100%.
I want to ask you guys this question. I made a video about this, kind of theorizing and giving my theory based on lore about a new map coming season 5. What do you guys think about that idea? I definitely want to hear your opinion, Lute, since you know all about like just data mining.
Well, there is another map already. That's
what?
The game, yeah, forever, and no one can see what it looks like. There's not any details on it. There's not really information about it. I mean, I could dig more into it and see what I can find, but we've known for a while that there are other names of maps. Like when it came to this map, we already knew that Desert Lands was a map for a while. But so we know more maps are coming.
And by Desert Lands, you mean World's Edge, and
World's Edge,
Kings Canyon is Canyon Lands, right?
Right, and it's called Canyon Land, and there's another one called Jungle. So there's multiple maps. I mean, and it could be for an LTM. So don't get me wrong, I don't know what it's for. It could just be an LTM. It could be for the Bloodhound LTM. Who knows? Maybe it will be in the jungle. You always see his.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
True.
But I think in the end, if we saw a brand new map after 2 seasons, I think maybe that could already be in their plan. Every 2 seasons, new map, you know? So
that's exactly what I was thinking.
I kind of like that plan, to be honest. Again, it just comes down to more content. I'm fine with the new map. I'm fine if it turns out to be a bad map.
And I get it. You know, people will compare the maps. They'll say Kings Canyon was better. Let's have Kings Canyon.
That's true.
You're right. Maybe it was better, but we need different stuff. We can't.
That's true. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I think no one really takes the bigger picture and looks at the bigger picture. They just want to find things that they don't like. Oh, so useless map. The rotations were so good on it. Yeah, but we can't play this. We can't play D-Dust every fucking map. You know?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you can't just rely on it being like Kings Canyon as like the thing that carries Apex Legends throughout like the years that it's going to be popular.
And I'm sure
like,
there's going to be everyone in the comment disagreeing, and you know,
I love Kings Canyon. We all like it.
Opinions. Yeah, we love Kings Canyon. I love Kings Canyon too, but I just think that you gotta look, you know, back up and look at the big picture. This game has to attract new people all the time, you know. So it's a big thing to keep people engaged consistently, not just keep the pros happy, not just keep those people who figured the game out and just want to play the same map because they figured their rotation out. That's not what this is about, you know?
100%. You're totally
you know what? Right. One thing I think could keep people watching that I always like, one thing that kept me with CSGO was the tournament aspect and the competitive scene. And okay, so recently Apex has, obviously we all know the global series is this year. And a lot's been going down recently, sadly. So, okay, I want Miles to explain this because I don't want to mess anything up. You're more of a tournament type of guy. Explain.
Okay,
what is going on with
so I want to just stop, and before I say what I'm about to say, I want to go ahead and just put this out there that I really appreciate the effort and how Apex has tried, and I know that they want this to succeed, and I know that they want this to be flourishing, because in the long run it makes the game bigger. It makes people you know, want to play the game, and it does make them money at the end of the day. It really does. But there's no hiding it that every pro player and every content creator has been that pays attention to these global series and wants to be a part of them, has been very upset with the way Apex has ran this, with the way that the decisions making that they've kind of gone on, that has gone on, and just kind of the lack of transparency that they've had with some of these tournaments. So for instance, let's start back to online tournament number 1. So if you guys didn't know, the online tournament number 1 was supposed to be taking place on a Saturday, and then the finals would have been on a Monday. Well, you have people like myself that work a job and took in advance 3 weeks off for this day to play, all to have some quote-unquote server issues that were fixed in about 2 hours, and they still decided to postpone it until the next day. Well, a lot of people weren't able to play because of that. That was
insane.
And a lot of people weren't able to play that day, and so it was postponed all over some, like I said, server issues that were fixed in a very fast time. So it was kind of annoying there. Well, that was the first strike. Then we had the second tournament that was supposed to take place on February the 29th, and all up until about I want to say 3 days before February 29th, we never heard anything on the tournament, what was going on, and it just kind of got thrown off until all of a sudden they just posted out and said, hey, the online tournament number 2 is going to be on March 21st. And so didn't really make much sense. But then obviously we had the Arlington, Texas LAN event that was supposed to go on, and there was no advertisements, there was no transparency, there was no, hey, we might be canceling this for the coronavirus, so make sure to stay, you know, don't get too invested in this yet, don't buy your tickets just yet, or we're thinking about doing this. And so many people dropped so much money on all of this to get there, and they never were transparent about it, and then they just canceled it last second. And then we also had this tweet from Apex today that Premier Event number 1, which is a separate event from all of that, this is a new event by the way, has already been postponed. Online tournament number 2 players are now competing for points only, and I'll get back to that in just a second. So that would mean that there's no prize pools for that tournament. Then online tournament number 3 registrations open at 10 a.m. on March 24th, but rest assured that's likely to change just like they always do. So going down further on their tweet, they take back what they said. They said, as an update to today's ALGS news, players in online tournament number 2 set to take place on March 21st and 23rd will also be competing for cash prizes. So they went back on what they said, saying that it would just be for points only, and now say that there will be a cash prize. So it just goes to show you that they have a lot to work on getting better at this and promoting this better and to make this work better. I know it's been confusing because of all that's going on in the world with the virus, but it's still something that no one else in the esports industry has struggled as much as Apex to keep this thing alive and to keep this going and to keep things running smooth. I know a lot of people have had bumps in the road, but Apex has really struggled with this, and it's been kind of heartbreaking to see the esports of Apex Legends dramatically drop and just be in such a dry spot lately because of all of this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, honestly, it was kind of funny. I was gonna say, like, watching this go down, like on the timeline live, people getting mad about the only points only, and then they just change it. So I was a bit confused as to why that even, like, let's say the fact that it's getting postponed, whatever, obviously you have to do that for health reasons, but then the online tournament, why did they even change it? Why did they even say you're now competing for points only?
Yeah, why was that ever in the consideration?
Like, how did that come from?
How does the virus affect that whatsoever? It doesn't. So where did that even come from?
Yeah, I don't think it has to do with the virus. I think it's something different.
They just
we don't know what it is.
They just added it in, like, this event, premiere event number 1, it's postponed, but then also we're changing this. Like, that was just weird. So weird.
So yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
And then they change it, and then they're like, "Oh wait, never mind. You know that thing we said earlier? No. You right. I mean, you're right. Like,
it's not the same as the illustration I'm about to say, but just imagine someone saying, "Hey, the big lottery ticket that it's up to $500 billion now." Only through this weekend, those lottery tickets, if you win, you'll only get points for your local grocery store. It won't be any cash prizes. Imagine people just, well, okay, we're not going to play if there's no cash prizes. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of playing and participating? People just invest so much into this, and for you to just make that comment and then go back on it, it's not only kind of embarrassing, the fact that they considered it, but it makes them publicly just look like they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty sad.
I guess that's gonna. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes down with the tournaments. But speaking of tournaments, there was just recently a Warzone tournament. So I want to hear what you guys think. Big Warzone tournament. Obviously, Warzone just came out. I want to hear what you guys think. Like, do you think there's anything that Warzone is really doing well that, like, maybe Respawn could see and learn from that and apply to Apex?
I have one right off the bat.
I have a few.
Something. Yeah, I mean, well, I'm sure we're all going to have things that we would think.
Let's start off with Caleb. Go.
I think cross-platform.
Oh, come on! You stole mine.
Really? What? Well, come on. We all were thinking.
What made you think of that?
Dude, it's as simple as it brings in so many more people. It makes it a lot more fun. It makes it way easier to play with your friends. I think it's just going to be overall beneficial and make the game even more popular if it's completely free and cross-platform, which it's already free. We're already halfway there. Now make it cross-platform.
Yep, exactly. That's
what Warzone's doing right now.
Kind of just makes me sad because we've been saying that, or at least I've been saying that since literally the beginning. Yeah, I always thought, like, maybe in a few months we'll get it.
That's exactly.
Hopefully,
it's so sad. We've been saying cross-platform and Apex and talking about it for so long, and the fact that it's still not here. Here we are in March. It's been over a year since the game's come out, and we still don't have cross-platform. I think it's not just something that should have been on the radar recently, and now they're working on. This should have been on the radar since day one. Hey, this is something that every AAA studio games are putting out. We need to have this on the radar. It needs to get done immediately, and here it is over a year.
I think it was. I mean, like, it was on their radar. That's a funny part. Like, I remember seeing, I think it was Drew McCoy. He did an interview not too long after the game was released, and he got asked a question about cross-platform, and he said they care about it a lot.
Oh, I do remember that. Yes, that was on a Wired interview. Drew McCoy Respawn developers answer Apex Legends questions. That was on there. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, they said they care about it, and then we're here. So, I mean, they could be working on it right now, or they could have always had it done. I don't know. Who knows? It just makes me sad that we don't have it right now. So that's one thing that Warzone has that Apex could use. Is there anything else? I mean,
I would like
gulag feature is pretty weird.
It is weird, but here's the thing. I was talking, like, thinking of this the other day, and I feel like every time I bring up new ideas for Apex that's different, it kind of gets over, like, oh, well, that's not Apex, that's not traditional, whatever. Until it's looked at as weird until, you know, here comes Activision and Infinity Ward coming out with Warzone, and they have the weirdest idea we've ever seen of the gulag and the way that Battle Royale works, and all of a sudden people love it. You know what I mean? So now it's like, I love this idea. No, I feel like people have probably thought of it before for Apex, and it just got laughed at. Oh, it doesn't make any sense. That's a dumb Battle Royale. That's a weird, you know, system, until it actually came, and it just absolutely crushed it. And people love the idea. People love the way Warzone works. I really
Some
like
people
Warzone.
don't like it though.
Well, I mean, you know, Twitch viewership is way up right now, and I know it's new, but like, the game it just feels so smooth, man. They do so many things right. They've already got cross-platform.
Well,
the gun
movement doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the movement.
When I hear the word
Trash.
smooth, I'm not thinking modern.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well,
Movement
I've been playing
the
COD
render
since
distance is
COD 2. I've been playing COD since COD 2, and I feel like Modern Warfare's movement is really good, actually. So that's weird.
It's not. It's not bad. I mean,
it could be a lot
overall,
worse.
it's not bad. One thing I just hate. I don't know how to. I don't even know if it's possible if you can drop guns in Warzone.
I don't. Yeah, it's weird. I don't think you can. It's weird.
And
Also, you
consoles
can't-
locked in at 90 FOV.
Wait,
Are you
locked
serious?
lower?
No,
Yep,
no.
Yep. They're
Oh,
locked
that's
at
bad.
90 FOV.
That is
Yeah, can you
bad.
imagine? They're running around like they're looking through a fucking toilet paper roll.
That's bad.
My God.
Yeah, it's so bad. Or it might be 70 actually that they're locked
No,
in at.
70. 70 is the default. Like, whenever you get on, like, you start off
then
at
that's
70.
what they're locked in at.
Oh
Pretty
no,
sure.
that's
No.
bad. That is
No,
really,
no.
really bad.
Oh,
That's so
what
bad.
is this? Okay, the FOV is locked on console. I'm looking at it right
That's
now.
crazy,
Locked
but-
to about, they say 60 to 65. I don't know.
Oh no,
even
that is
worse than I
awful.
thought. That is
I don't know if
horrible.
that's completely correct on the source, but
I think
Zeus was talking about it.
I just don't understand it. What, like, hello?
Zeus definitely knows because he plays on both, and he was talking about it. He's like, I see my friends run past people who are standing right next to him because they can't see. The FOV is so tight.
Oh yeah, he's playing cross-platform, like spectating one of his friends.
Yeah,
He's on console, and yeah.
what I
he's on
really
PC.
like about Modern Warfare, though, I think the movement kind of might feel weird because it's not like a traditional Call of Duty. It's more like a Battlefield kind of feel. But I think what's so good about this Warzone is there's two things I like a lot. Is, well, besides crossplay, obviously, but you start off with an equivalent level 1 shield from Apex. You start off with 2 shield bars, and then not only that, there's an economic system where you can go to like these buy stations and buy really good things like kill streaks. You can buy more armor. You can use that money to also buy loadouts, which really help on the RNG aspect of the game. And I feel like one thing that people don't talk about as well is there's so many scars and so many good SMGs, so that like it's very rare for you to say, oh, you just had the better gun than me, because I feel like every game I get in, like, everyone starts off with the same weapon. Like, we all go into the same or a similar building, find a SCAR, find an SMG, find a M13 or whatever. So the guns are really, really common, and I feel like that's something that maybe Apex should look into, and making the R9s more common, making the wingmans more common, or whatever it is, so that people can have the loadout that they want.
Yeah, and
Honestly,
they have the custom loadout drops in Warzone, which makes the game
That-
significantly more consistent.
Exactly. That's what I love about it. Consistency
being able
is
to
way
buy
more.
stuff too is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
that,
nice.
like you said, that's a good feature. I think they should do something like that, where maybe you earn something while you're playing Apex that you can use to cash in if you're lacking.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would definitely be cool. But one thing I disagree with you on, Miles, is the spawning.
You're
shield.
wrong. No, I'm just playing.
Like,
No, well,
I don't know.
this goes back to the Evo Shield conversation. I'm not saying spawn with shield. I'm saying we should all start with an Evo Shield that has, like a base level armor.
I guess I know what you mean, but I'm just saying, like in Modern Warfare, I just don't think you should spawn with shield. I don't know, or in Warzone.
No, I'm
I don't
saying
know.
in Apex. I'm not saying.
My thing is that it doesn't matter. If everyone
You
spawns
got a
with
good
no
point.
shields, everyone starts as 100. If everyone spawns with shields, everyone starts at 150. It's the same, or 125. It's the same thing.
Well, not really, because that means that
Yes, really.
No, that means like the time to kill is much faster at the beginning of the game than it is towards, like middle of the game. So if the time to kill was longer at the beginning of the game, you'd have fewer deaths off spawn.
That everyone finds a shield off of spawn though. I'm saying it would still be, that would be your new base. It doesn't matter about the time to kill. I'm just saying it would be your new norm that everyone would start at 125, and then there'd still be someone finding a purple, and he would be way better than everyone else. It's still a base number. It's just like with Call of Duty, it works because everyone is the same. It doesn't matter as long as everyone's coming in the same.
Time to kill definitely matters, though. I don't know. Time to kill is. I think MW has it pretty good with the time to kill.
Yeah, a lot of people complained about it when it first came out, but I actually kind of like the time to kill in Warzone. I think it's pretty decent.
I think you just get two different experiences. You either get really quick, crazy landings, or you get the slower landings like with Call of Duty. It's just whatever people's preferences are.
Yeah. Call of Duty does take, like Warzone in general, does take a little bit of time to get like in action sometimes. Like if it depends what the circle is, because the circle is wild on that game. It is it's all over the place.
That's why I could never like PUBG that much, because it was too slow paced for me. And that's why I like Apex, because like I love to just get all up in people's faces and do crazy stuff and grapple all over the place and just try to do something
constant gunfights.
Yeah, constant gunfights. That's why I like it. But so that's just kind of, I think it's a big topic and definitely something we can't ignore as Apex Legends fans and as content creators. Is definitely something to talk about. Warzone's taken a big hit, and Apex is definitely in a dry spot right now because I think they're trying to figure out what they can do to bounce back. So make sure to let us know down in the comment section of what you think Apex could do to bounce back from all of this. But moving on to the question of this podcast episode, we have a question from Yellow Copy. I don't know how to pronounce that. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Shout out Yellow.
So shout out to you, Yellow. But the question that we have is, what's one thing, I think we kind of already touched on this a little bit, but what's one thing each of you would like to see added to the game? For me personally, I would like to see a dialogue between the characters as the match progresses, maybe to get a little more backstory for them. That's pretty cool. It would kind of help on the lore, or to see their relationships with each other. So that would be pretty cool. I think my one thing is would probably be similar to everyone else's that's here, is definitely a crossplay feature, but there's a lot more that we could go into. Maybe Luke could even talk some more on those campaign leaks that we had a long time ago.
That's really what I was going to say, is campaign. That I would like to see that, just to give lore back.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Campaign would be absolutely amazing. Honestly, I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything. Honestly, not too sure what else. Maybe a buff to Lifeline. I feel like Lifeline's kind of gotten pushed out by Gibby, even though he got like a nerf recently. I think Gibby's still kind of the best support.
I think it's time for dude. I'll let someone else say this, because I know someone's just going to bring it up.
Something I want to see in Apex, dude. The first thing we talked about is more I would say kind of out there, or more crazy LTMs, like not just Kings Canyon, not just World's Edge, not just an LTM that we've had before, something new in an LTM. Like I said in the beginning, search and destroy in Apex. That's just a wild thing I'm throwing out there, but I want more content as far as LTMs go, and they can be as wild as they want. I'm okay if we have a crappy LTM for the day, but we know we're getting a cool new one tomorrow. Like that's okay with me.
Like what
they can try out new things.
Yeah, like the Grand Soiree event was super fun because it was like something new all the time. It was like every 2 days. Like, hey, it's like we don't have to, like, hey, we get a game mode. Hey, we don't have to deal with it for a week. It's like, hey, it's just for 2 days and then something new. So that was really cool. But I don't know.
I just thought of something from Modern Warfare, the Gulag. I would like to see an LTM. This could be my one thing. Like, I'd like to see an LTM of 1v1s. I don't know how it would work. Like, that would be pretty cool if it were 100 people just start out in 1v1s, and then it's like obviously 50 people versus 50 or whatever, 1v1v1, and then like
a tournament
king,
or something,
like a king of the hill type thing. That would be pretty cool.
Like a winner stays on.
That's something really random I just thought of right now, but that I honestly wouldn't. I'd be down for that.
I would like to see like not only crossplay, but we talked about this a lot of times too with the whole tournament system, like an events page on the main, like where people don't have to go to ALGS to sign up for this tournament. They can just be on Apex, click on events, see the online
like
tournament
Fortnite.
that, like Fortnite, that can and just easily register. Right, I feel like it would bring more people to the the aspect of the esports scene, and it would draw more attention to it, because a lot of people that just play the game, they're not going to know about these tournaments unless they see stuff on the main game on the page. People are not going to look at Respawn's Twitter and see that they're talking about ALGS. People have no idea what that even is. They're just going to play the game, and if they get a notification when they sign in, hey, sign up for the new tournament, then they'll probably pay more attention to it. But that would be really cool to see them finally do.
100%, I agree with you. That's a great idea. Man, I wish we had that right now. Honestly,
bro, just imagine, just imagine me and you can go do a duos tournament or something, like just every week, like, hey, there's a duos, $10,000, $5,000 cash prize tournament or something.
That would literally be the best thing ever. Like, that's something Fortnite got down perfectly. Like, they killed that. Like, just promoting the tournaments heavily. I definitely think that was a great play by them, and something maybe Respawn could take and use. But definitely want to say, make sure to comment down below #question to get your question answered on the next podcast and get a little shout out. So definitely make sure to comment down below. Love to read your questions. And thank you, Yellow Cappy is your name, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, homie, for asking that question. And I think we're going to go ahead and end this podcast off here. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button. As always, it really does help us out a ton. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any other podcasts. But it's been your boys, and we're out.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Later.